Hello everyone, welcome to the Business Pod. As we covered in our previous video, discussing the critical factors involved in establishing a company in the UAE, it's also essential to recognize the importance of understanding its financial aspects. After discussing the key considerations, have we ever thought of how much does it really cost to set up a company in the UAE? Establishing a company involves not just navigating regulations and governance, but also understanding its financial investments required. Many assume it's a straightforward process, only to hesitate when they realize the costs involved. And sad to say, this often leads them to reconsider their plans, and worst, abandon their intentions. Setting up a company in the UAE can be a complex process. That I totally agree, aren't you? The costs involved can vary depending on several factors. I can provide you a few breakdown of the typical costs associated with setting up a company in the UAE. Are you ready? Let's start. The UAE actually comprises three jurisdictions: mainland companies, free zone companies, and offshore companies. In the mainland companies, there are so many license activities that is involved and available for each and every individual or companies who wants to set up a company in the UAE. However, even if there are thousands and thousands and thousands of activities available, they only boiled it into three main categories: commercial, industrial, and professional. Commercial normally are involved in retailing and general trading. Industrial are normally involved in manufacturing. Professional are normally involved in services. The commercial license, depending on what type of activity, normally ranges from 15 to 30,000. The 30,000 normally is for the general trading, which also allows either setting up a physical store or an online shop. The industrial license, which normally comprises the manufacturing, ranges from 5,000 to 15,000. While professional license, this actually depends on what type of activity you're planning to open. Let's just say, for example, you want to open an accounting, audit, and taxation firm. This will actually be ranging from 10,000 to 15,000, and this will also comprise of several factors involved whenever you open such companies. There are also some professional license or professional companies starts from 5,000 to 10,000 only, depending on the activity as mentioned earlier. The free zone company comprises of a free zone establishment and a free zone company. If you can remember what we have discussed earlier, a free zone establishment is an individual company, while a free zone company is a corporate or more than one individual. The free zone company normally ranges from around 15,000, sometimes goes up to 30,000, depending on the number of visas, depending on the facility or flexibility of the office space, depending on the activities, and also depending on the jurisdiction. The free zone company also does the same. The only difference of this one is the capital requirement. The capital requirement of the free zone company normally ranges from 5,000 to 50,000. Offshore companies, well, it only like around 11,000 with one shareholder. The other costs that has to be considered are visa costs, investor or partner or employee. The investor's visa normally ranges from 5,000 to 7,000, while employee visa normally ranges from 3,000 to 4,000. Third-party approvals are those approvals that is really required to set up a company. Like if you want to open an audit company, you have to get an approval from Chamber of Commerce. You have to get an approval from the Ministry of Economy. The rental space, as we discussed earlier, it actually depends on what type of activity and where you're going to set it up. But let's just say, for example, for the mainland company, the rental space of a full space normally is around 25,000 per annum or yearly. Other costs involved, these are like for the main companies, there are several activities which actually involves a local sponsor to be added or to be included in the license. Local sponsor will actually depend on what type of activity, and their fees ranges from 5,000, sometimes 20,000, sometimes it went up to 80,000 depending on what type of activity it is. Food for thought. If we are to venture into new opportunities and exploring fresh ideas that are actually daunting or exhausting, once we expand our horizons, it is actually very typical or crucial to ensure that as we fill our minds with innovation or information, we also need to fill our pockets to make sure that we will be able to successfully finalize our business plans and avoiding the risk of wasted potential. Well, I hope we were able to provide you at least a minimal information on how to set up a company together with a few considerations, and you're ready to go. If you have any other questions, feel free to give us a comments. And thank you so much. Have a great day.